What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy French Cookin', and this is Make Beats for Free on MPC. Today's free VST is called DB1 by DixonBeats. If you don't know about DixonBeats, I've been following his channel for quite some time now, and his videos are where I get a lot of my free VSTs. I made a video on the Hero 1 plugin by Meet Beats a little while back. This is similar to that, meaning that it's modeled after the same type of synth. But DixonBeats made a few of their own unique presets and slipped them in there. Oh yeah, baby. So let's have a look. With these types of plugins that are modeled after older synths, I generally like to make West Coast beats because I find that that vintage sound really fits that vibe. So I have an electric piano pulled up here, and I'm going to start with my chords. Now, normally with my chords, I just kind of do them off screen and play around with them until there's something that I like, and I show the end result. But I feel like showing you a little bit more detail today. There are multiple ways that you can lay down chords, especially in MPC Beats. Actually, there is a chords function. But the way that I'm going to do it today is I'm going to start with my root notes and I'm going to build chords from there. I think I'll go with something like that. Now that I have my root notes and I also copied them down 2 octaves, I can start to build my chords. I'm in B minor, so I'm going to take my first note here, go up 3, go up 4, go up 3, go up 4. I already like the way that that sounds, but since this is a West Coast beat, I'm going to go ahead and add this note as well. A little bit more West Coast flavor. Next thing I like to do is strum the notes. So I just like to do it manually. Just go up here like this, and just, mess around with them a little bit. And also you can change the velocities a bit to make it sound a little bit more natural. So just like pull this one down, maybe pull this one up. You get the idea. I went ahead and did the exact same thing for my other chords. And remember, your first note in your chord doesn't have to be the root note. So the root note for this chord is E, but I had this note up here, up at D, and I just pulled it down below by 1 octave, and it's actually lower than your root note, but it still sounds good. Next, I took that first chord and I copied it into the exact same VST. However, this is a guitar wah preset to give it, of course, a West Coast sound. With some filler notes in between. Now we get to use our DB1 VST. So this is what it looks like. If you use the Hero 1 as well, you can see the similarities between the two. You have 3 preset banks up here. And yeah, I just selected a pad, and I'm actually going to copy this chord here and this chord here, and I'm going to layer that with my pad. There you go. And I actually brought this one up 1 octave to switch it up a little bit. Next, as another layering piece, I have another instance of the DB1 pulled up, but this is more like of a synth sound. So again, copied the exact same chords. And by the way, if you're wondering why the chords are cut off here, that's because that's where the snare is going to hit. So it's going to give it like a cool semi-sample type of feel to the beat. And on that note, just to show you, there's actually an effects bank in the DB1. So to make it end abruptly where the snare hits, I pulled the release almost all the way down. So it's just going to stop when the chord stops. Here are my drums. Now, what do I want to point out? First thing I want to point out is this reverb snare. Sorry, this reverb clap, which I layered with a snare on every second snare. And I also have like a reverse breath leading up into that reverb clap. And if you have a keen eye or a curious butthole, you can see that I have a pad named Goosebumps. So I picked this kick for this beat. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it has that little bit of texture in the background, which reminded me of that little repetitive piece from the Goosebumps theme song. I know it's a throwback, but does that ring a bell? I filtered it a little bit, but it still kind of sounds like it. So I actually layered that with my first 2 kicks. I find it sounds cool, so I kept it. Next is the bass line. I already kind of went through how I did the chords, so I'm not going to go through how I did this, maybe for another video. But essentially, just follow your kick. And now here is my favorite part about making West Coast beats, the lead. So I just have a basic sine lead pulled up and gonna go crazy. Can't forget that string for just a little bit more high end. So I have the Pneuma Pro plugin pulled up. I selected the ST Cinematic 03 string preset and just one note, baby. That about does it. I'm going to add a little bit of ear candy and maybe even some vocals to go along with it, and I'll be all done. I hope you enjoyed that beat, and I hope that you learned something. And as usual, I'll be back next week with another free plugin. Until then, keep producing, baby.